Discipline to money principles equals freedom. What's up, guys? Welcome to my YouTube channel. You're on my boat, the Knockstar, and we are going to help you break out of the rat race. I'm going to teach you a little bit of what I've learned from some of the richest people in the world, the peoples of Naples, Florida, how to buy back your time. You know, it's not just Naples people. About 7 years ago, I was desperate. I lost one of my top guys, and man, I was traveling, going door to door. My wife was sick of me not being home. Even though I was making good money, you know, I was frustrated that it wasn't able to keep it. I wasn't able to multiply it. I wasn't able to buy the real estate. The bank didn't want to loan me stuff, and maybe you're frustrated because interest rates going up. Gas prices are going through the roof, and you can't seem to get ahead. Look, that means that you got to work harder, maybe with your hands or in sales, which means you don't have a lot of time. I want to help you get that time back by sharing 10 simple lessons. And so here we go. Guys, the number one thing I would recommend if you want to break out of the rat race is to invest into your skill set. You know, you don't have the ability to communicate and sell at the highest level. I know that whenever I first reached out 7 years ago, after that desperation point, I reached out to Grant Cardone. I thought I was selling him a roof. Of course, he sold me on sales training, and I continued to follow a path where I invested into digital marketing, upgraded my skills, and that's where my income started to change. And so many of you need to make more money. Like this inflation stuff, it's not going away. And so the skills that you need to learn, they involve being able to tell your story for profit. Being able to go out there and sell, not just a roof, but maybe roof, solar, general contracting projects. Maybe you need to figure out how to take your sell to a virtual level. Well, it's very important that all the people that I meet in Naples, Florida, even if they didn't go to college, they're willing to invest time into learning through apprenticeship, invest money into coaches, into business development. You know, you think about your best athletes, what do they spend their time in? They invest into coaching. And I will tell you, that's the number one place you need to go first. Now, second thing that you need to invest in to break out of the rat race, if you're on the job site, if you're a contractor, roofer, maybe you're selling, you need to invest into things that duplicate you, even if it takes longer. See, the key to growing a big roofing business, solar business, contracting business, you need more salespeople out there generating their own leads. See, what makes you a good entrepreneur is your ability to duplicate. And I will challenge you as a blue collar and say, it doesn't matter if you're a salesperson or not, the level of education of you teaching other people to actually duplicate yourself is the level of income and quality of life that you have in your business. And so I heard that from Ed Milet. He's a master at recruiting and duplication. I would say the number one thing is you need to talk to everybody that you know. You need to keep 50 different people on your list, people that know what you do, what you bring to the table, how you can help somebody. And I meet a lot of these people in these mega mansions, and they come from the blue collar background. But all these people, if someone else can do the job, they're willing to pay them. If you educate somebody, sometimes they let you down, sometimes they're slow to learn as well as you, sometimes they always have to make mistakes on the job. So I would say rich people, they know that that's a part of the game, that it's all an investment, that when you train somebody, when you're paying somebody, when you're duplicating out there, always have a 2-for-1 quality out there. You know, for me, whenever I was living in the rat race more and didn't have much of my time, I would always be doing things one at a time. Now, I might go knock a door, train a sales manager, and have 3 people that are brand new to the company trained at the same time while we create content on YouTube, and then break it down into Insta Reels and basically live through 5-6 times of duplication. Rich people understand that the most valuable thing in an organization is the people. And the one thing that I heard from a mentor of mine, Myron Golden, that really struck is that when you make money, when you have success, you've got 2 options. You can use the people and love the money, or you can use the money to love the people. And I believe that if you want the American dream, if you want the opportunity to duplicate, every single time that you pull money out of your company, you think that because someone You paid them and they didn't do what they were supposed to do because someone got more than they were supposed to, or because someone started their own business, that they've affected you somehow, they've hurt you somehow. You know what? They've hurt your ego. And the reality is that you're investing into learning how to be a better teacher, a better molder, and next time you'll make better choices, and that will lead to a better student. And it's all a part of the process. So you got to learn how, if you're a greedy person and you have a hard time letting go of the money, you're probably having a hard time recruiting, having a hard time selling. See, because you're all so tight. See, for me, I'm easy to hire a coach. I'm easy to put money out for paid training. I'm easy to let money go. I know it flows through me easily. It's going to come to me easily. And so one of these things that rich people, they don't do, they don't just hold in tight. They realize that the money is a tool. Number 4, the most dependable way to build wealth, and if you're investing into the stock market, if you're investing into real estate, you know these ways do appreciate over time. But if you truly want to build wealth, one of the things that the most successful companies from the stock market, the most successful piece of real estate have, is the ability to advertise for profit. And I learned this from Frank Kern. I took a class from Frank. He's a legendary marketer, and he taught me, man, if I can put $1 into an ad and pull $5 out, there's no predictable way of income like that on earth. And it's all about the quality of the hook story offer. It's all about the quality of mastering concepts that some of the predecessors over the last 100 years, the most successful advertisements of all time, have all been written, and just applying them to this industry, my industry. There's 3 different types of videos. Number 1, if you're a contractor, you need to show the consequence of hidden damage. It doesn't matter what you sell. People are motivated to save on their home, but they're really motivated from the consequences of upcoming doom. And so one of the things about the hidden damage video is it applies to solar, to roofing, to all general contracting. And when you apply it with artificial intelligence, you can retarget. You have a system like SDU Hub to automate follow-up. You have a predictable engine to build profits. And that's one of the things that I'm going to be doing, is letting regular people earn passive income by getting involved in the most successful contracting sales funnel of all time. It's going to change the game forever. And believe me, Angie's List is going to get destroyed by a local ball-headed roofer like me. So if the most dependable way to build wealth is to advertise for profit, when you get a successful advertising campaign, you can build your brand. Think about Donald Trump. Donald Trump, of course, has been all over the media. He knows how to get articles written about him just based off of controversy. He's a PR genius. But whenever he was using daddy's money to scale and he was getting all over the news, his name was built up very big. And maybe you don't know the story, but he kind of got too big for his britches, lost some money in casinos in Atlantic City, and lost it all. The reality is that the brand, the Trump name, is how the family continued to make money. And they would lease out their name for buildings to use their brand. And then, of course, next thing we know, he's being asked to do The Apprentice. And it's funny, you hear some of the people early from The Apprentice, and they say his office was very, very, only had a couple of people. It was kind of a nasty, grungy office because there wasn't a lot going on. All Trump did was let people use his brand. And so that just goes to show you this consequence of building a brand. And that's really what it's all about, guys, in this world that we live in. If you can use the customers that you create through successful advertisements to basically build your brand for free because they're paying for the jobs, then you're essentially getting famous on other people's money. And it's a beautiful thing. The next one is the new breed of rich person, blue-collar entrepreneur. You invest into technology. See, we all know that you can get more done with less people, less overhead if you have better technology. And with inflation going through the roof, this is going to be the way that you overcome inflation. And so let's just say about a year ago, my company, we had built a software called Claim Express. It was great. But once you get to be a company with 300 employees, you have to have softwares that connect. We had departments that had to be all working from the same system. And really, we kind of outgrow our technology. And sometimes because technologies don't connect, you had to upgrade. And so in the middle of the year, even though I had hundreds of employees, I had to switch a CRM. So many of y'all talk how hard it is to switch a software in the middle of a year. And we ran sort of 2 CRMs until we got all on the new software. But even the new software has problems that we continue to invest and involve on. And I have new software technologies that I continue to invest and involve on. And so I believe, that gets me into the next lesson, that whether you're investing in technology or the next concept, you must take the money out and instead of pay taxes, put it into things that are going to catapult your business to the next level when you change your goal. Number 8, discipline to money principles equals freedom. And rich people are very, very keen. One of the things about Grant that I learned is they made personal rules to not spend money on depreciating assets unless it came from property. And so this boat would be against that rule. I bought this boat, I went out, I put a down payment on it, I got a loan, I didn't pay cash for it. Ironically, it went up in value. I could sell it now for a profit. That being said, Grant would never have done that. He would say that he went through this period of sacrifice where he would put 40% of all earnings into multifamily real estate, because you need 3 things. You need to learn how to make the money, you need to learn how to store the money, and then you'll need to learn how to multiply the money. So in the last 2 sections of how the rich people buy time, I'm gonna teach you how to make it, store it, multiply it, and I'm gonna give you 2 different vehicles that are not roofing where you can really multiply your money like these guys and maybe avoid paying unnecessary taxes. And I will tell you, the wealthiest corporations, the wealthiest people in the world, they do so much for our economy and they have so many loopholes that they pay a lot less taxes than you think. Some of them pay none. All right? So, number 1, this discipline means that you pay yourself first. And a lot of people forget about this. If you're a contractor, realize that your job is to build a business and pay yourself profits. And if you take a certain value out of your business for profits and it goes all towards investments, all towards real estate, you know that your net worth is going to be multiplied. And I'm going to give you a couple different vehicles as we talk about it later on. But the book Profit First would teach you how actually the best way to have a diet is to lower the amount of food on the plate. And so if you take your profit first, the idea is that you'll have less to blow on extra things. And so I think you should just do that first. Discipline equals freedom. Determine what you're going to put back, what percentage, pay yourself first, make rules, stick to them. See, when I first went to close Grant Cardone, I invested into 1 property. And then he's like, it ain't 1 roof, it's 40 roofs. So then I saw 2 properties. Then I looked at his whole portfolio and I inspected all of his roofs for damage. And let me tell you something. That was at the beginning, so many doors. I realized all these people were paying him rent, and that was the definition of really having passive income. And most important thing is when you invest into multifamily real estate, you don't have to pay taxes on something called depreciation. That means for the entire amount of the loan, whatever it costs to maintain or improve that property, you can actually write off. You also can write off the interest. And the truth is that almost 100% of the money that you put into multifamily, you can avoid paying taxes on as long as you continue to roll profits into further multifamily deals like a 1031 exchange. Let me tell you an example. There was a waterfront property in Daytona Beach. It's called the Cabana Apartments. And we bought the property for $11 million. Me, the asset manager from Grant Cardone, I met from the deal when I closed him, and he had me do the roofs. As a matter of fact, after all improvements, we were able to raise rents, therefore raising the value of the property. We thought it would take 5 years. 2.5 years later, we sold the property for $18 million. Now, I would have had to pay taxes on all the profits from that money. All the investors that invested in that were able to 2.5x their money, but everybody decided to do what's called a 1031 exchange. So we took the profits from the multifamily and we put it into another multifamily, did not pay any taxes on the gain. And so I just want you to know that we're starting a blue collar capital fund and you can be a part of it. Multifamily is one way, but we're getting into a large market of Airbnbs down here in South Florida, Orlando, the Panhandle, and we're gonna show you how anybody can really even get more returns in this multifamily Airbnb market with the Blue Collar Capital Group. So I'll tell you right now, if you wanna do what these guys do, you gotta put your money into real estate. Just for an example, let's just take the land, my house. You know, it's not a place where I can store money because essentially that's something that, you know, land, a house, you buy it, you know, you don't get to write off the down payment as a tax deductible down payment. However, I knew that real estate is really one when you buy it cheap. It's one in the beginning. And I knew that real estate was gonna go up. Waterfront property goes up a lot. I bought my lot for $1.4 million. 2 years later, it's worth almost $4 million. And one thing I know is that over the next 10 years, it'll be worth 8 figures. So why would I ever sell it? As a matter of fact, I'm just gonna Airbnb it once it's paid for in cash, take out what's called a home equity line of credit, not redo a mortgage. But anytime that, let's say I start a new business and I'm funding new business with this home equity line of credit. See, the thing is I don't have to pay taxes on interest. And basically I can pull the equity out of my home, put it into another business, and I've made the money. I've been able to extract the value, put it other places. So it's learning how to make the money through real estate, store the money through real estate. I've done well with being a homeowner, buying a home. I believe that there's a lot of great markets to invest in. I'd be invested in the markets that people are going to, the markets where there's no taxes, where there's less of these liberal type laws. People are fleeing these states of high taxes. And I think even though there is gonna be a huge kind of foreclosure crisis in the future, what are you gonna be doing? Are you gonna get your cash ready? I'm looking at it as an opportunity to have a portfolio of rentals, and we're gonna be doing a lot of Airbnbs, scaling it on a large scale, hopefully giving you an opportunity to plug into it. And with these upcoming changes coming down the pipe, there is an opportunity of a lifetime for you to break out of the rat race. Now you gotta learn, there's a modern day gold rush service in America's homes. Doesn't matter what you do, you need to learn how to sell the jobs, you need to learn how to duplicate, and then you need to take your money and put them into the things that we talked about in this video to truly build wealth. Click the link below, check out my new training on SIR. It's an insane system to 16x sales any home service business. Check it out, tothemooncontractor.com. It's in the links. All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Like and subscribe.